All right, everybody. We're just about set here for round 2 from our Toys for Tots tournament here at Huzzah Hobbies in Ashburn, Virginia. I'm Aaron Utley, and you're watching Steel TV on YouTube. We've got some weird technical issues today, so there's some things I won't be able to do. But bear with me. Should be able to keep track of the games. For one thing, Ash is using Ash uses the dice app, so it's going to be tricky to sort of keep track of what his hits and what his dice rolls are going to be. Now, typically, I'd be able to hear the table and I'd just tell you, but having real problems with the microphone on the camera, so I'm not sure what's going on with that until I get an external mic. I'm not going to be able to fix that, so kind of bear with me. We're going to have to figure out what's going on in context. But anyway, should have an interesting game. Some new stuff on the table. Dan's running Ray with adaptability. I've got to go check, see what his pilot skill is on Ray. Kane and Jarrus, Fin Crew, Inertial Dampeners, Smuggling Compartment, and the new Falcon title. And he's got 2 Snap Crackle A-Wings. He's got Snapshot, Crackshot, Chardon Refit, Auto Thrusters, and a Test Pilot title on both those Green Squadron A-Wings. Ash is running Bosk Party Bus with Bosk, Crackshot, Dengar, Forlom, Zuckuss, and Inertial Dampeners. He's got a Saj Ventress over there up in the top middle of the screen with Push the Limit, Lats Rozzi Crew, Slicers, and the what's the word? Gyro Stabilized. What are the Gyro Upgrade card? And he's got a Pirate Z95. Oh, there it is. Just underneath Asajj there. So let's see what they do with what they got. I also wish you had made it out for this, Jeff, but, you know, understand we can't all be thinking of the children, you know, all the time. So, you know, I don't hold it against you too much. And I cannot figure out the lighting in here. Again, super grainy and weird. Having all kinds of camera issues. Camera mic's not working. Dave, the last game went to Sam. Ira went ahead and turned into Wedge there at the end and forced an engagement to finish the game, and just came out on the short end of it. One of them would have gone. That likely would have decided the game. If Ira could have killed Wedge, he would have won that. Dan's all over the place. He's moving ships around. He's turning them. But Ash and Dan are both pretty chilled out players, so I think no big deal. Oh, no, wait, what? Huh? Wait a minute. What just occurred? We had a bumped K-turn, and he turned around. Not sure I understand what just happened there. And that's confusing. I wish the audio was working, then I could tell you. But it is not. Yeah, boy, that's irritating. I can't figure out what's going on with that microphone, but I can't hear it at all. Oh, from these two. I'm not sure. sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. This audio issue. I've come to, when I'm by myself, I've gotten pretty accustomed to being able to hear what they're saying at the table, and now I can't hear them at all, and it's a bit. I'm a little flummoxed. I'm having video problems and audio problems. Unfortunately, every time I set this up at well, essentially for every event, it really is a new setup each time. Even if it's the same store twice, I don't really have time to troubleshoot things and fix them. So that's 3 hits into Ash's bus. 3 shields going. That's nice. He's got them all lined up there so we can see when they come off. Using slick little glass beads there. Yeah, so when we've got a little event like this where I don't really have time to tinker with settings in between rounds, and then first round was the game we were watching was the one that finished last, so I didn't have any time to monkey with things then either. But yeah, it leaves me kind of out of whack. Again, unfortunately, your guess is as good as mine. Who's shooting at who and what's going on, because I should be able to hear Ash and hear him saying what the dice results are, but I can't. So just have to kind of watch and guess. Technical difficulties. I can guarantee we'll know when a ship has taken enough damage to be destroyed, though, because the players will pick them up. I think. So that much I'm pretty sure of. That we can figure out. This ship has been destroyed because the player removed it from play. That audio issue is probably something I'll hang around and fix after this is done. See what's going on there. Dave, in between games, I reset all the audio settings on the camera. I'll have to tinker with it in between. I just don't have time to mess with it right now. These little events is where I figure stuff like that out, so not the end of the world. But I definitely want to have it figured out before the next regional at your hobby place out in Martinsburg. It'll be 2 weeks from today. But yeah, I haven't changed any of the audio settings since last week's regional, and it was working great. So I don't know what it is I've done to muck it up, but I'll figure it out later. Still not sure why that A-wing turned around. Hey Cameron, thanks. Yeah, I thought that was a good compromise. A lot of people wanted me to keep it. And I think small down like that is as unobtrusive as possible. So there's one of Dan's A-wings. Yeah, it could be a cable thing. I mean, I really was rushed to get everything set up, but just not sure. I don't think so. I really don't. The cable setup is pretty straightforward, but I'll have to figure it out. Sort of doesn't matter now, because the A-wing that turned when I'm not sure it was supposed to was immediately destroyed, so whatever. It's definitely a bump. Put a ship down. I don't know what it is about the light in here. It's so grainy. Wish I could figure that out. And there was a stop from Boss. No, but I'm not getting sound from the table. I have it set up now so I can hear the table audio. So even when I'm by myself, it's pretty easy for me to keep track of, dice results. And like right now, the light's not great. I can't figure out the light, and so I can't really see the dice rolls. And Ash is using a dice app, so I'm sort of in the dark. Now, typically, starting, a couple weeks ago, I'm able to run the table audio so I can hear what they're saying. So it's not that big a deal. For whatever reason now, it's the exact same setup is not working. So we're kind of struggling to figure out what's going on the table because they're around the corner, so I can't hear them talking or anything. But not the end of the world. I mean, like I said, we can try and muddle through with context. And again, when a player removes a ship from play, that's a pretty good indication that it's received enough damage to be destroyed. So there's 2 hits and a crit from Ray into Asajj. And that's going to be a range 3 shot from Bosk into that bumped A-wing. Not sure what Ash rolled up on his app, but auto thrusters kicks in for 4 evades, so that's that. He's forcing those re-rolls. So he takes 1. to assume that was the pirate into Falcon. Again, it's a little tricky to keep track of with Ash rolling with his app. Martin, as I was explaining earlier, Ash is not rolling. He's using a dice app. Typically, that wouldn't be a huge problem because I could hear him, but I'm having an audio problem and I can't hear him. So, it's anyone's guess what they're rolling. You just have to do the best you can and figure it out. I'm not going to be able to get you any more information sitting here by myself than you're going to be able to get by watching it. Sorry about that. It happens. Yeah, no worries. I mean, it's frustrating for me too. It's very, I can only get in for these, hour ahead of the event start. So I've got about an hour to get set up, get everything connected, get it fired up, do a quick test, and if anything's not right, it's very hard for me to fix it. So this is a weird one. The audio setup is kind of new. I've just not encountered it before. Fortunately, we're suffering through it at a 3-round Toys for Tots event and not at a regional. So I'll have this figured out shortly, and we'll next time we fire up the stream, everything will be fine. But again, I know it's super confusing. Also is for me. A couple of these abilities are new. I'm not real familiar with them and can't hear them. So, baffling. Unfortunately, this is running this by myself anymore, where I can't see anything, is so baffling for me that if I can't get it sorted out real quick, I'll probably punt on round 3. So you might only get 2 rounds today. Sorry about that. Okay, I was wondering what we're doing there. We're waiting on Dan to decide on an action for that green A-wing. There's Ash. Bring Asajj down. Assume we'll see a big aggressive move out of Ray here. So Bosk leaps over Ray, but not that big a deal. Nobody behind Bosk to shoot him up, so. Oh. Falcon sloop. Kanan removes that. Forgot all about that. It's the first time I've seen that on stream, so kind of a novel thing. Might be problems for Bosk. Out of arc. Just outside the primary arc. I never did. Ray's actual pilot skill is potentially 9 or 7. I never asked because it doesn't really matter. So just assuming it's set at 9 since it's higher than Bosk, which is a 7. There's 2 hits and a crit. Not sure what happened to the. Trying to figure out what happened to the. Oh, destroyed it. Okay. So Ray killed off that Z95 there. looks like some cleanup there. Sorry guys, I'm a bit distracted. And again, baffled by the lack of knowing what's going on with the dice.
I boarded them out because I never saw versus. I didn't draw the first game. The first two games. I thought, oh, okay, he's fairly sort of like. I had no chance because I needed like a few games. Yeah. And unlike the other games, I kept drawing my threats. So Adam 121. They do have a one player.
There's Massage, flies down and bumps into Bosk. Kind of a cool paint job there. I wonder if that's is that a transfer or paint? It's got to be a transfer. Pretty cool, regardless. And there's a K-turn from that A-wing that's sort of out in the middle of nowhere. Looks like you got a little Magic the Gathering event about to start here on the left side of Huzzah.
Hey, Joseph. Brian, if you got all your stuff over there, I can just go get it out.
Just missing out on the primary arc again. I'm assuming that's something to do with that Finn Creek card. Let me take a look. I'm not super familiar with those yet. Give me a sec. Okay. So yeah. That's going to give him an additional blank result to his attack or defense, if in arc, but not, so it doesn't matter. One of 8, I'm assuming that was Ray, but again, if you're just joining us late, we can watch the maneuvers and try and figure out what's going on, but I apologize, I'm having a little bit of an audio problem with the table, and Ash is using a dice app, so I can't tell what they're rolling. So we're just going to have to sort of guess based on what we're looking at. A little bitty event here today. Only 6 players showed up, but we got a respectable toy haul. I can actually try and pull that up here real quick. So you guys can see what we came up with. a second. So just real quick, I want to show you what we pulled down today while they're sorting these maneuvers out. But for only 6 players, pretty respectable haul of toys to be donated to the local Toys for Tots drop. If you have a Toys for Tots event in your area, please attend it. If not, please consider donating Toys for Tots this season. Alright, so their boss turns around. Let's see if entirely sure what that roll was about. I think it was to clear crits. Ned, yeah, I have many hats when I run these little events solo. But fortunately, Chris Sanlin and Roy Scale showed up, so they're actually running the little tournament for us. And you saw the guys showed up and donated a ton of stuff. That was the range 1 shot into Asajj. It looks from where I'm sitting like she's got 1 shield left. So this is going to be Bosk shooting into Ray inside his primary arm. I wish I could hear. It was 2 evades. And it takes an additional stress to force him to reroll one of those. Ends up with 1 evade. I'm not sure. Okay, so he's taking 2 more damage in the hull. Looks like he's got 3 damage in the hull in his Falcon. He's managed 2 into Bosk. There's 2 more shields. Fortunately, those we can see, because Ash has them right on the side of the board, so that's nice. K-turn from our Green Squadron A-Wing. Massage with a 3-turn. Adjusting his movable arc there. I assume he switched to the left side. Can't see under there. Bosk deciding obstacles be damned. He is flying right over that debris there. Nope, I don't think he makes it. So he goes, barely moves at all, and bumps right into that A-wing. And I'll just move that forward for a bump. Let's see what Falcon does. It's a 2-turn. So that should give him what he wants on Bosk. And I'm not really sure. I don't think Bosk has even taken damage in the hull yet. I think that's his shield there on the bottom. So it does look like if Asajj moves up, there's that. So that's 3 into Bosk. So Bosk is 2 into hull. Now Bosk and Asajj will both have shots at Falcon. It's going to force that to a reroll. Only gets to reroll 1. Adds the blank. Rerolls 1. There's a discussion that I can't hear, which is always great. And he whiffs with that. So, there's many green dice being tumbled around. 2 more into hull on the Falcon. That'll bring up Asajj's shot. Looks like a range 2 shot into the Falcon.
Talking about like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, I'm at Dead 85. Just me doing the commentary. No, I'm not going to get Paul to come out for a for a 6-person 3-round local. It's a tough weekend anyway. Holiday weekend. Sort of a light turnout, but fortunately we were able to get some good stuff to donate. Again, apologize for the lack of helpful commentary, but not a whole lot I can hear going on. So I'm sort of in the same boat you guys are, just watching and trying to figure out what's happening. Audio problems.
I don't know. Well, it's just audios have been kind of on a tear, so it's a pretty good guess that one of them are at least going to be Audulus morticians. So he's getting a lot of attention.
Just 3 rounds today. This is 2. I probably won't stream 3. I'll go ahead and put my stuff away. It really is, baffling to sit here like this and not be able to tell what's going on. So I'm not sure I'm gonna stream the 3rd round. The way I have things set up now, it's pretty dependent on me being able to hear. Now it's exasperated here because Ash is using a dice app, so I have no clue, who's rolling what. And that's unusual. He's the only guy I know that uses that. And the weird, I really thought the light in here was very similar to where I was streaming last week up in Maryland, but it really is not. So the setup, I just really didn't have time to tinker with the setup, so I can't really see the results as well as I could anyway, because you see the grain on the video. That's low light. It's having trouble getting enough light. So it's a little baffling. Again, I apologize. Makes the next one better. There's another bump. And that's going to let Ray squirt up and out of.
Well, yes, that's why I played so far back. It was for 2 reasons. One was to try
Nope.
to break you a little bit.
The race loop.
The other was just so I could see clearly that go forward. Slow roll with that guy once you chase. Because I knew that you had to get that party-based flank route if you don't, then it gets flanked and then it just dies. So I knew you had to do that. I just wanted to draw you guys which way you wanted. I think that was
And it's Ray's range 1 shot into the back of Boss. He's going to focus for 3.
That didn't take long.
Sort of an uphill climb here for Dan.
Yeah, but I had alchemist to 8. Why would I kill the city that
He's got 4 damage into hull on the Falcon.
There was no harm in trying.
Oh no. Troubles. So, as I said before, you can always tell when a ship has received enough damage to destroy it. The player will pick it up. And it doesn't look like that lone crit got through. Another one turn from a little A-wing that could there. But it looks like it's double stressed and in a really, really bad position. So I think this is winding down. It's going to move that movable firing arc. And there's the one back. Bosk, don't believe is going to end up with arc out of that on the A-wing. No, and it's a bump anyway. There's a bump. I think they're just going to agree to eyeball it, and there it is. So shiny. These super shiny covers there on the ship bases. I believe that's range 2 shot from massage into that stressed out, pretty much whiff. Looks like he only picked up one shield though, so I guess Ash just got one through.
If I didn't have one at all, I would have just lost it. And there's only one. Find birch bills that have better values. Incendiary float. 2 mana, deal 3 damage. Target with your player. Yeah, you want to get up to a BS7 if you can, because it's probably the best one. And then you want collective spots. Get 4 of those too. And you'll be on the way to it. Because like, there's no such thing as wrong. There's no such thing as wrong threats.
And another one turn from that A-wing. And a 3 turn for massage. Doing a quick check of where on that arc it is. It's a range, going to be a range 3 shot. So even though he's not modifying him, it's going to be a bunch of dice. Scott, I can't. I can't hear what's going on by myself. I don't have anybody telling me what's going on. I really can only do that when I've got someone helping me out and I can hear the table talk. So I can't sit here by myself. I can't hear the table. I can't see what they're rolling. So it's just impossible for me to do it at something like this. But I can tell you, the A-wing has 1 shield left, Massage has 1 shield left, and Bosk is 3 or 4 in the hull. So it's 1 crit. Evade token takes care of that. This could really drag out now, unless Ash can force the situation to make that A-wing eat more dice. He's got to get 3 more through, but not a whole lot of offense coming out of Asajj, and dragging all that stress. Boss can't stop. So we got kind of a drawn out end game here. Turn from Dan, trying to keep out in front of Bosk. There's a big 3 bank. It's going to, I don't know. MOV is not really a factor here, so I think Dan is hoping to fall into a situation where he can put damage on Bosk, but I'm just not sure it matters. And there's 1 evade. I'm not sure what Asajj sent his way, but he cleared off a 2nd shield, so he must have gotten 1 through.
Okay. Who's Austin?
Alright, so what do we got now from straight maneuver? Oh, okay. I'm not exactly sure what time is, but the only chance Dan's got here is to clear the stress off the A-wing and destroy Bosk, and then fight it out with Asajj, counting on maneuverability and a lot of dice to sort him out. But I don't see how he can. I don't see how he can pull this out, but we'll see. You never know. opening up the distance to Bosk lets him, open things up and try and clear the strengths, but it also lets Bosk turn around. So at some point, Bosk is going to have a shot at that A-wing, and I just don't know. Be neat if he can pull it out. So there's a 3-turn from Massage, who's going to bump, but it's kind of indifferent to that. And I assume he's going to go ahead and bring that YV around too. Yep, there's the 3-turn the other direction. And he's got pretty open space over there on that side of the board, so he can do a couple of those. And we have a stress-free green squadron A-wing. Is he going to boost around here? Well, I mean, look. There's only 6 players here. I tend to agree, for all intents and purposes, the game's over, but it's not like they're leaving. They're going to play the 3rd round. So, what better do they have to do? Might as well play the game out. So that's what they're doing. You never know. I believe if he were supported a little bit, Dan could kill Bosk. But I don't think he's going to have the chance. Maybe, but more likely here within a couple turns, he'll be taking fire from both, and that'll be it. Got a range 2 shot for a Massage. No auto thrusters.
I will exile the debate was whether I stay suspended
So it looked like 2 hits. He rolls 2 evades. And takes 1. So he's got 1 left. For anybody just joining us, Ash Moser is using the Dice app, and I have an audio trouble with the table microphone, so I can't hear what they're saying. So I'm a little bit in the dark. But regardless, situation in front of us is Asajj has 1 hull. 1 shield left. Bosk has 1 or 2 hull left, and that Dan's single remaining A-wing is down to his single hull point. So
Yeah.
pulling up the end game here.
I mean, the money should all be in the extra crap in the garbage.
All my creatures gain them.
And deciding whether he wants to boost. He does. K turn? No, just a 4 straight. So he's still got that side arc at, I believe, range 2. I don't think he's got range 1. But he should push a 3 bank here on Bosk. Yep, there it is. And that's going to give him a range 2 shot with Bosk as well. So this could be the game. Looks unobstructed. That boost put him just south. You know, but that 6 to 1 half does the other. Is it stuck him out. It looks like a range 3 shot from Bosk. So he is going to get an extra die. But he's not obstructed, so it's only 4. And he's going to reroll the 1 for 1 evade. And that is the game. So, as expected, when Bosk finally got around and was able to take that last shot, and that was all she wrote for Dan. But a fun game. Interesting in-game there. Dan fighting to the end. And that's going to do it. Because of the video and audio trouble, I'm not going to stream the 3rd round. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you have not donated Toys for Tots yet this Christmas season, I please encourage you to do that. And I want to thank everybody that joined us out here at Huzzah Hobbies in Ashburn, Virginia, Steel Open sponsor, and encourage you guys to donate. So have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you guys next week from your hobby place for their Toys for Tots event. Talk to you later.